welcome back to another week of Behind the Lens. I'm Debbie Elias, film critic, creator, and host of Behind the Lens, where we go behind the lens and below the line with those movers and shakers, the film and TV makers, those producers, directors, writers, actors, cinematographers, production designers, costume designers, film editors, sound mixers, sound designers, composers, VFX gurus, stunt coordinators, casting directors, and so many more. And of course, here on BTL, we love to showcase all of those indie gems, the low budget, no budget, micro budget films that don't always get as much love or theater space as they should. And as those of you who have followed my reviews and interviews for the past 43 years, and of course here on Behind the Lens for 11 years, you know I love my indies. And we're talking about a wonderful indie today and two incredible filmmakers. And let me just kick things off by saying, he's back! Simon Phillips is back with me today for his 5th appearance on Behind the Lens, which makes him the record holder with the most appearances by a single guest in the 11 years of the show. I know Frank Meyer is going to be very upset by this. He was gunning for 5. But you know, if he would stop touring with Fear and with all these other bands and releasing his first single solo album and touring Spain and Italy, then maybe he'd have a 5th time. So, Frank, now you have something to aspire to. But it's looking like Simon will be back 2 more times this year. So who knows? But I digress. But adding to the joys of having Simon on board today, besides the hilarity that always ensues with Simon, his collaborator partner in production crime. What did I just say? But adding to the joys of having Simon on board today, his collaborator and partner in production crime, director, cinematographer, editor, and writer Jamie Bailey is also with us. And it's a real treat to have Simon and Jamie both on the show together, especially as we're talking about their latest venture, the OMRO Heist. For those of you who know the work of Simon and Jamie, most of their collaborations have a horror bent to them. Just think Mousetrap, the upcoming Mousetrap 2, Welcome to the Mickeyverse, What Lurks Below, DEINFLUENCER, which has 2 sequels upcoming this year, and more, which makes the OMRO Heist interesting, as this is a heist film with some interesting characters and plot points. No horror, just heist, madness, and mayhem, but with multiple themes that are set against the backdrop of a heist. The OMRO Heist is the story of a bank robbery that goes wrong in a once quiet Wisconsin small town called OMRO. When an FBI agent goes undercover during a bank siege in his hometown, he discovers the robbery is actually an elaborate cover-up orchestrated by the corrupt mayor to destroy evidence of his criminal conspiracy. The locals must stand up to take down an evil gunman who will kill anyone that gets in his way. No spoiler, but needless to say, Simon Phillips is the evil gunman. The OMRO Heist is directed by Jamie Bailey, written by Jamie and Simon, and stars Simon Phillips, Ken Bressers, Anthony Crivello, Demir Kovic, Nick Biskopek, Adam Hewell-Potter, Al Diaz, Heather Arndt, and more. As I mentioned, not only does Jamie direct and co-write the film, he is also the cinematographer and editor. Film is shot on location in Wisconsin in an actual bank vault. And this is key when it comes to Simon. As my regular listeners and readers may know, when Simon writes a script, he writes to a specific location. He picks the location first, locks that in, and then writes the script. It's really a very economical and efficient production tactic, especially on these low-budget, no-budget, micro-budget films. And I think they shot this one. I think they only had 1 week to shoot this one, on top of that. Now, due to the schedules of Simon and Jamie, We pre-recorded this exclusive interview with them on July 17th. It was a great birthday gift for me to speak with them that day, but it also allowed Simon to then focus on his impending nuptials and a myriad of other cinematic projects in the pipeline. Now, as you're going to hear, the boys highlight the unique challenges of filming in a real bank. Simon explains how Ken Bressers, a producer of the film, and he also is an actor who plays the mayor, owns a real bank in Wisconsin and let it be used for the OMRO heist. It's a fun story that you'll hear Simon regale as only Simon can. Among other things, Jamie details the improvisational approach to shooting, using minimal equipment, the creative decisions made on set, including improv, just based on things like an apple or a tube of chapstick. And Jamie's editing process. Both have nothing but praise for the cast, and we dive into casting and performance at length, including Simon's villainous and fun performance as the head gunman, Gerard. It is such a delicious character for Simon. He writes himself the best characters. I wonder why. But peppered throughout the conversation, Simon discusses the themes within the film, notably the emotional depth of a father-son relationship that we see unfolding here. It's wonderful to see the character development and the relationship dynamics. It gives another approach and, more meat to just a plain heist story. And our conversation also touches on their collaborative process, what is the magic of Simon and Jamie, as well as their upcoming projects. So take a listen as Simon Phillips and Jamie Bailey talk, laugh, chortle, cajole, and delight, and have a heck of a lot of fun talking the OMRO heist. And a big welcome back to the incomparable Simon Phillips. There's no such thing as too much Simon, ever.
You old charmer, Debbie.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you, Debbie? Long time no speak.
I know. Well, it hasn't been that long, but it's still been long.
If a day starts and we aren't chatting, I don't really know what we're doing.
I know. James Bamford says the same thing about our he and I conversing. It's a day without sunshine. It's like a day without Simon or a day without James.
I'm going to get that made up as a prize for Jamie for his birthday.
Is Jamie back?
I never went anywhere.
See?
Oh, yeah, Debbie, he was only joking. He didn't actually go and shower. Don't worry.
One never knows. Were it me?
Well, if I did yell at my wife, I would announce it during an interview.
Well, gentlemen, one of my favorite dynamic duos, you have delivered yet again with the OMRO heist. I had so much fun watching this film. Simon, you have the most devilish laugh, and the way you laugh with delighted glee in a villainous mode it just gets better every time you do it.
Other people in pain and distress amuses me greatly.
Clearly, which is why you write yourself these fun parts so that you can do that.
So that not only did I create the pain that they're in, but I'm there to observe it firsthand, Debbie.
I know, and that is how it should be. Now, what I find really interesting with this one, guys, is that, because I know, Simon, you always write to the location, because we've talked about that before, and that makes so much sense, especially on the low-budget, no-budget, micro-budget films like these. Yeah. So how the heck did you get a bank that is so perfectly set out with the vault and the basement and everything that you could
Well-
actually use for a shoot and not just as inspiration?
Well, it was there's a sort of a third part to this, Debbie. So Ken Bressers, the guy that produces the movies with Jamie and I, or some of the movies, he actually bought a bank because he was transferring his pharmacy business, which is his main occupation, into this bank in this little town in the middle of Wisconsin. And he had an idea. He said, I'd always talked about filming a bank robbery film, but it's actually quite hard to film that because no bank wants to allow you to film in their location. So when he bought this place, he was like, before I convert it into the offices that it's going to be, he'll let me have a look at it. So I drove up and I had a look at it, and then I do what I normally do, with Jamie. We kind of took some videos and we sort of reverse engineered the script from there.
Well, it works beautifully, and I really think that Ken should just leave it as a bank and rent it out for film productions. But
I don't know if there's a lot of film action up in OMRO, Wisconsin.
We're basically it.
yes, but you could be the inspiration for more to come.
Yeah, I mean, we hope others will follow in our footsteps.
This is such a cool location, and the setup in there. Now, I know you shoot Lean and Mean, Jamie. So you're directing, you're the DP, you're also the editor. How did you go about blocking out your shots for this one? Because the safe deposit box vault, that's not a very big area.
That area was particularly very challenging because it was so small and tight. But we didn't storyboard this one. We kind of made it up on the day, every day. And the location was, it was challenging in the sense that it is a bank. You're right, it's great as a bank, but a bank's kind of boring. And the biggest challenge for me, one of the biggest challenges, I should say, was to make it look like a movie. And I think that we did it. I think it looks pretty good.
Now,
Just every day we would kind of just figure out how we're going to shoot it, like in the moment.
I'm curious, because you say you wanted to make it look like a movie. The lighting is really interesting. Did you bring in lighting packages for this one? Or like
I did.
In the safe deposit box, it has a really sickly kind of tone to it that I just thought was great and almost was reflective off of the banks of safe deposit boxes.
So like I brought my own lights in. We literally like replaced the lights mainly like in the ceiling and all that with my lights. We made, I don't know if you know, like I made that bank always red. There was red lights by it. Mm-hmm. So I always had this red hue that was kind of different from any other place in the movie. But we had a bit of fun with it, I guess. But that bank was very small and quite challenging to actually film in. Like we couldn't take out the walls, obviously. So we had to I had to climb on things and point the camera down and all this kind of jazz.
Oh, what fun! And what rig were you shooting on? What camera and lenses were you using? I hope something light.
Nothing too sexy. Sony A7S Mark III. It was all shot single camera. There was no other camera. Oftentimes we use a second camera for certain things, action sequences and stuff like that. But on this one, I shot every frame of that movie, including the drone shots. So just, very, like, we have, I have a lot of equipment, but nothing too sexy. We don't have RE cameras or, like, big 10K lights or whatever. So you got to be very, very, that's the biggest challenge that really we have these kind of budgets. I use all my own equipment. We didn't rent anything for this shoot. I had to take it from Toronto over the border to Wisconsin. And what you see is what we did.
I think it's fantastic. Thank you. You don't need the fancy gear and equipment. Mark Pellington has said many times over the years, all that matters is the glass. All that matters is the lens. You don't need the fancy equipment.
Yeah, you really don't. And I even say like the glass. If we use Rokinon lenses, they're very inexpensive lenses for the shoot. You really don't need. You can shoot a movie on an iPhone. 28 years later, it was all shot on the same phone I'm doing this interview with. It was also used in the Formula One movie that came out. There's a lot of they put a bunch of cameras on the car and everything, and they're all like they're iPhones. The technology it really is the most important thing. It's what you put in the frame that's important.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love what you put in the frame here, and so much of that goes to the creativity of this script. Because this isn't just a heist film, guys. There's so much more to this than just some bank robbers. So I want to know whose fertile mind came up with these other little avenues here. We've got a father-son generational issue happening here. We have corrupt politicians. Duh. You got to have corrupt politicians.
You can just say politicians.
Yeah, they all fall in the same category.
Yes.
So how did you come up with these other, expand on this heist idea, which really is the background as to everything else you have unfolding?
This is 100% Simon Phillips.
Well, the father-son stuff is always is kind of the core of the movie for me, really. Like about how Cole has sort of left this small town. He's gone to the FBI. He's not a local police, he's sort of chief like his dad. So he's followed in his father's footsteps in terms of like law enforcement, but he's done it sort of bigger and better. So that when he comes home to the place that he's from, he's sort of outgrown it a little bit. But he also belongs there, and he's from there. So it's always interesting to see this sort of the two of them come back together over the course of the movie. They kind of resolve things, neither one of them is right about any one thing, but it's kind of watching them grow together. So I always thought that was a nice bit of the story. But yeah, the bank robbery is in the background. But lots of it, is in the background. The submarine is in the background in What Lurks Beneath.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the characters and stuff like the stories you could drag and drop them somewhere else, and they'd be that the father-son thing could happen somewhere else. It's just nice to have that sort of thing.
Yeah, that really stands out, Simon, and I really like that. But then we also have the offshoot of Cole, and his ex-girlfriend is involved, and she's in there, and her sister.
Well,
you've got these great
sort of thing. I'll tell you what, Debbie. I'm born in a very small town called Tuam in the west of Ireland, and every year, in fact, just this weekend past, I go back and I see old friends and old family and stuff like that. And it's the place I was born in, the place I grew up in until I was 10 years old before I moved to London. And every year, sort of you get further away from it. Sort of you belong less. The things that you remember are gone, and people have changed a little bit. And it's that sort of weird thing where you don't quite belong where you are, and you don't quite belong where you've come from. You're sort of you sit in two worlds. And unless you're born in the place that you die and you live there your whole life, that's true for a lot of people. But it's always interesting that your dad is at home. The girlfriend that you once had, she's still there, and now maybe she works in the local bank and stuff like that. So it's another bit of that the prodigal son returns sort of type.
I'd say I really relate to that storyline too as well, because the same situation for me. I'm from a small town, east coast of Canada, and I find a very same experience when I go back home that Simon just said.
I love the emotional dynamics that you have in here. So often with a heist movie or something similar, you don't get the emotional connections here. And both of you do a really great job visually and on the page of giving us these connections, the connective tissue between the people. That
Debbie,
struck
are you
me.
saying that we should make a career in making movies?
I think maybe you might want to give it a shot.
This is nonsense. These widgets won't make themselves.
That really struck me. Is as much as Cole was a fish out of water, all of a sudden he wasn't. And the connective tissues were like reinvigorating with the people that he once knew. And I really like that aspect of this. That was a really nice touch to add, Simon.
It made it interesting because it's in a bank robbery film. You're often assumed that nobody knows anybody because it's a bank. There's lots of times we're in a bank we don't know who's left, who's right of us, who thinks. Except in small towns where they do know. It's the story.
It reminded me of like the Old West. Anytime you watch anything, like at 2 this morning, I was watching a rerun of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, And everybody knows everybody in a small town where there's one bank and there's one mercantile. And that's the feel with this. And actually, with quite a few of your films, Simon, that you have written, you get that connective tissue feel. And it's not what it seems just superficially. Tagline for OMRO Heist is FBI guy goes undercover. And that's great in this town to thwart a heist. But that's not what this film is.
It's not only what it is, but it's hard to start the description without saying
Yeah, I think the synopsis, that IMDb has and all of this, it needs to be expanded.
They only let you write short little bits, Debbie. So if I wrote something and said, well, it's about a father and a son reconnecting, I'd immediately, wouldn't have told the audience, visually, well, it's a small town, bank robbery, heist, I've got to kind of try and get as many words into that first sentence that will give them
and they have to be exciting words. They have to be like, bigger than life kind of thing.
Yeah, to make it like a hook and draw it in.
Well, see, that's why you need to make Mousetrap 2 and 3 and 4. The title alone is a hook.
Do you know when we were writing the synopsis, the little IMDb paragraph for the Mousetrap 2, the distributors and the lawyers, the great, great minds that they are, wanted us to take the words Mickey Mouse out of it. There was several emails where they were like, can you remove the word Mickey Mouse? And like, that's our selling point, that we're making the world's first Mickey Mouse horror movie. And they're like, yeah, but legally. And you're like, me and Jamie, we had so many emails to so many lawyers, so that,
It was crazy times. It was really, truly, honestly crazy times. We have written a script for the sequel.
There is another one, but we're not telling any details, Debbie, before you
That's
ask.
okay. I know better than to ask you for details, Simon. I know better.
Spoilers, really, that we're trying to avoid.
Well, anything about a sequel to The Mousetrap is going to be a spoiler. Other than to just say you're going to be making it. That's all you have to say. Because if you know The Mousetrap...
Mickey Mouse is in it?
Well, yeah.
That's not a spoiler?
No, that's not a spoiler. I feel bad because I just talked to Dan Allen the other day about his film, Bambi the Reckoning.
Oh,
so
great.
He probably went through, and it's a straight out-and-out horror film, but he probably went through similar to what you went through and have gone through with the Mousetrap 2, using Bambi.
Yep.
I'm sure that legal was all jumping all over him about Bambi in the title. So
they probably were. Although I will say, Debbie, that the lawyers were much more concerned about the use of Mickey Mouse. I think we're a bigger intellectual property.
And
we really broke lawyers' brains when we had to get insurance for that movie. Like we broke everyone's brains.
Wow.
No one had a real argument of why we couldn't do it, but everyone was like, much. It's Disney.
A lot of people accepted that if Disney sued us, that they would lose. They were like if they looked at it, and at the same time would go, you'd probably win. You're like, right, so we're safe then. And go, yeah, but as Jamie said, but they might sue you anyway, just to hold you up, So on that basis, we're not going to give you insurance. We couldn't get insurance.
Wow.
They would decline to cover us. No matter what the premium was. They
wouldn't even give us a premium. There's a lot of there's like 7 companies in Canada, and one gave us a quote that didn't include being sued by Disney.
That's right. Yeah.
And then the other companies wouldn't even give us a number. They wouldn't even give us a number.
Whoa.
We were that afraid of Disney.
And isn't it ironic that here we are doing this interview on OMRO Heist on the 70th birthday of Disneyland?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Jamie, put a post out on social media and tag them.
I think there should be a picture of the Mousetrap saying "Happy Birthday, Disneyland."
Oh, we should put a picture.
There's a picture from Japan. Yeah.
We had the release in Japan. We had the Japanese director's cut was released at 80 cinemas in Japan in March. And we went over for the premiere, and then we went to the Japanese Disney World. And Simon and I got pictures taken in front of Walt Disney, holding Mickey Mouse's hands, but we're standing in front of it. And Simon's kneeling down, and I'm holding his hand, standing up, and we're doing the exact same pose. Exactly as the prophecy foretold.
It became full circle.
Oh my God! Yeah, because when we last talked, Simon, you had told me about you be going over for the premiere over there.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, that was exciting.
Wow! Now, are we going to have a global premiere of the OMRO Heist, like in front of some banks or inside with the stacks of money?
I don't think that they'd advertise it inside banks, Debbie. I mean, I don't mean to challenge.
Simon, did you miss that meeting? Simon, we have a whole promotional plan where we have people going out in various big cities and robbing banks.
Oh,
you don't know this? You don't know about this?
Viral thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I realized we were doing that.
Yeah.
It's good that we've recruited people to do that.
Well, we're actually going to pay them with the money that they steal from the bank. So
hey!
It's a genius, perfect plan.
This is why we promoted Jamie to head of marketing.
I think Jamie is thinking outside the box and being very practical.
I'm not, so that's it. You know what? That's real shame on me.
Oh,
right, Jamie.
I would have expected more from you, Simon. I really would.
I've let the team down. I understand.
Well, now talking about the team, great cast. I see a lot of familiar faces back in a Simon Phillips and Simon Phillips Jamie Bailey movie. You've got Demir Kovic, our FBI agent Cole, who was in Mousetrap. You've got Nick Biskupic back, and he was in Mousetrap. Who else have we got? Well, we've got Adam Huell Potter.
And Ken Bressers.
Ken Bressers, who's playing the corrupt... Oh, sorry.
Mayor. Yeah. The politician.
And then you get a great addition here with Anthony Crivello as the Chief Johnson. He is so good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super good.
And of course, then some guy named Simon Phillips playing the ringleader of Gerard.
You know what? He was great, but maybe too good looking for the role. That was, there's some audience feedback came back there saying it found him distracting because people had imagined what their life would be like if they lived happily ever after with Simon Phillips. It happens to Jamie all the time, actually, when we're filming.
Anthony was too good looking, you mean, right? Is that what you're saying? Anthony was too good looking?
No. Simon Phillips is too good looking. Wherever you found him.
Oh, I just assumed it was Anthony that he was talking about.
Oh my goodness,
Jamie, you've just been fired as head of marketing.
Oh my God, I've been in this position for 2 days.
You get elevated and then kicked out. For shame.
I do the bank robberies.
Been for like the office on fire, that would have got me canned, but I guess no, just insulting Simon. That's all you have to do.
How difficult was it? I'm sure not that difficult, but how difficult was it to put this cast together? Because it's the ensemble is so of bad guys of Gerard's crew is so well put together. I love Adam Huell Potter as Riker. Everything I see him in, be it Survive the Game that he was in with you and Bruce Willis, Simon, or Blood and Snow with you and Vernon.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
I love what Adam brings to the canvas. And he's great as a bad guy. Not the brightest bad guy in the bunch, but he's great. Similarly with what Nick brings. So how did you put together the cast on this one?
Well, some of them I knew from previous things. Adam, as I say, I met on a Bruce Willis movie. Jamie, did I tell you I was in a Bruce Willis movie?
What? This is complete news to me.
You've been in two, Simon, two.
Jamie, I've not told you this. Can we get Jamie over a copy of... Yeah, the movie. Yeah, right. There's one on the way to you, Jamie. You can watch it this afternoon, and there's a questionnaire tomorrow morning to make sure you watch it all the way through.
Okay.
But, although when I die, you can turn it off. You're like, that's it. Movie's over. That's it. Okay. No, so we put the cast together. There was lots of connections that we'd already had. But also, Tony Crivello is an old friend of Ken Bressers, the man that produced the movie who bought the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually go back. They knew each other as teenagers 120 years ago.
Wow.
We're hoping that Tony's in our next movie, and we're hoping Ken produces it. So, yes.
Wow. But no, I mean, putting everybody together, how difficult is it, in all seriousness, how difficult is it to cast somebody like Adam or Nick as henchmen?
Well, those guys, I know Nick was the cop, sorry. Nick was the sort of deputy. Nick Biscuit was deputy.
Yes.
Tony Lee is henchman number 2, as it were. Adam is henchman number 1. But, I mean, we knew some of those are from recommendations, which is a way we actually work. So one of our female lead, the girl, Cece, played by Mackenzie Jones, is a recommendation from Tony Crivello. So saying, oh, you should get this girl. She's fantastic. She hasn't done much in the way of movies. She's involved in a lot of theater stuff down in Chicago, but she's great. Just take a look at her. And we did, and she was great. So she made the perfect kind of ex-girlfriend figure. You know, she had that right kind of, you know, strength yet vulnerability that we were sort of, you know, looking for, and she, you know, fit that image perfectly of that girl, the friendly girl that works in the bank, you know, sort of. So that all works. But a lot of these, when we do that, a lot of those things are recommendations. I love a recommendation because a good actor will never recommend a bad actor because they're about to be in the same movie. So it would be madness for an actor to recommend a bad actor. You know, even if they're friends, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't recommend you a bad actor.
No, because I think that you have them playing inappropriate characters.
I mean, there has to be the right thing for them, doesn't there? So,
yeah.
Nick is great. We worked with him a couple of times. He's a great actor, and his face does 90% of his acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he just has a look. You can feel there's something there just by looking at his face.
Actually cut all his lines on set, so they go, Nick, the whole thing about being annoyed and pissed off, and we're like, oh, actually, just shut up, Nick, don't say anything. Just do.
Let your face do the work.
Well, another gem that you cast here was Al Diaz as Martin, the bank manager.
Yeah.
He's great. He's the right kind of, you know, sleazy bank manager.
Yes.
Oh, just like the politician thing, we can just say bank manager.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
Everybody is just, let's put it this way, there's sleazy going on in this film. There's sleazy,
it's
there's
the seedy underbelly of this like nice town that you think everything's done properly. Well, you pull back the layer and you see all this nonsense happening.
Absolutely. Now I never get to ask this because I'm always talking to just Simon. But now that I have you here,
Doesn't that sound like a negative, Debbie?
it's not a negative because you are one of my most favorite people on the planet, Simon, and you know that. But I've got to ask.
How much have you paid this woman, Simon?
Don't answer that question, Debbie. You're under NDA.
I won't. Confidentiality clause. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know this question.
Sorry.
How well does Simon take direction from you, Jamie? How easy is he to direct as an actor? Does he take his writer hat off and listen to what you tell him? What is this experience like?
Well, I mean, look, we made 7 movies together, so I don't hate it. Simon does listen. At the end of the day, like they say, 9% of directing is casting, right? And oftentimes, I'm the kind of director that I like my actors to do their thing, and I don't really offer any kind of change or advice unless there's something dramatically wrong. And Simon's a great actor. He's really great with the actors, and he's always giving them advice on how to do things. But when it comes to him, especially on this project, it's not like this hasn't happened in other ones, but particularly, I feel like it's happening more and more with each film where, you know, he's written a scene, and maybe I have another take on it, and we kind of talk it out. And at the end of the day, I truly believe that the best idea wins. And we'll have a conversation about it. And there's never a drop of ego on either side of we got to do it this way because it's my way. And I thought just by that, there's the scene, where the hostage is being just about to be sent out, and he has that strong conversation with her, gives her the note. That was a scene that we had worked on, and Simon initially thought it would happen a different way, and it was my idea to get him to sit and to eat the apple while he's having this conversation with her. And that seemed like great for him, I think initially, and he can talk about this, but it seemed like it was wrong at first, but the more that we talked about it, we kind of got to this place where, like, yeah, let's try it this way. And we're both very happy with that whole sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, following up from what Jamie said, it was literally that. I don't know if you remember the scene, Debbie, but
oh yeah,
I'm sitting in the chair and she's standing, sort of type thing. And originally I thought she would be sitting or on her knees, actually, or something, you know, like, and I would be the person standing over her just as a visual, like as a power sort of thing. I didn't see it as me sitting, and I certainly didn't see me eating an apple. It seemed like, it was too intense a moment to do it. But then Jamie, we do this all day, by the way, with everything. It's like we're always, like, that's why we don't really storyboard. We're in search of, like Jamie says, the best idea for whatever the thing is that's happening at the moment, you know, like whatever scene we're doing. So it happens like this. But this was one I completely didn't see this way. But when it wasn't like we tried it the other way, anything. As soon as I sort of settled into what Jamie was saying, it was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. And then when we started doing it, it actually felt really good because it was just another way to be very sinister. And I like different ways of being sinister, and this is one I hadn't thought of, and certainly one I hadn't done, but straight from the mind of Jamie, sort of. But yeah, we tried to do it with everything, like with not just things that I'm doing on screen, but like every scene we're trying to, you know, figure it out, or figure out is there a better way to be doing what's happening right now? You know, like, you know, to hell with the script, really. If there's a better idea in the room right there and then that we could shoot, then that's what we're going to do, you know. Sort of, and we, you know, that's as independent filmmakers, flexibility is the one great thing we have. We don't have to. We can do whatever we want, really, once we're there, sort of. And we can just, we are.
But we don't. But the other side of it is we don't have enough time. Like we shoot these movies in a week. So like
wow.
There is this sense of insane urgency that like we have to make a decision right now. We can't spend all day thinking about it, and we likely can't go back and try to shoot it. So what we're going to shoot is going to probably be the movie, so it better be good. And that creates some kind of weird kinetic energy where I feel like, it's not to say other people haven't made movies in a week, but I mean, I think it's a rare thing, and we've done it so many times that I don't know, it just, for the way that we do it, it seems to work, and it brings out the best in both of us, I find. And then just a side note, that like him eating the apple, like Simon had the idea when Ken, the mayor, is in a scene, and Simon threw him an apple, and he's like, I don't know what this means, but I was like, no, bad guys eat apples. And I know it's stupid, but it's like a little layer. Like, I feel like good movies have layers. It's like an onion, and it's like and the Godfather. Whenever you see oranges, someone dies, and it's like it's like something that your brain will never really pick up unless someone points it out or you're very observant. But it somehow adds a layer to the movie, and I find that if you can pack your movie with things like that, like the chapstick, the Adam's goon, like little things like that, I find it makes the movie colorful, makes it come to life.
Okay, the chapstick, I don't know which one of you came up with that, but every time I started laughing out loud. It was so funny. And the look on his face. Does anybody got chapstick? And it's just, there was such... He was so...
It makes him human, right? It makes him
human,
rather than being this flat character.
But the whole idea of the chapstick and the intensity on his face of the importance of chapstick was...
Lips, yes.
You're holding an automatic weapon. You're in the middle of a bank heist, but the big thing in your mind is chapstick. And it just cracked me up.
The absurdity of it. So, like, how that happened was that he actually was putting chapstick on as we're getting ready to film, and I was like, "Oh, wouldn't that be funny if we?" And then he ad-libbed the line, and then we're like, "Oh, let's make him have a home and gardening magazine that he's really into." Like, that he talks about the Golden Bachelor, like, and we just kept adding to it. None of that was in the script, and all that was on the day, and it all started with the chapstick. And then we shot the scene where he goes to the bait tackle store, and we're like, oh, this is where he gets the magazine. And yeah, I love shit like that. Like, I absolutely love it.
It's the Die Hard thing, Debbie. You know the guy in Die Hard. Every guy, that's the John McTiernan thing. He gives even all small characters, they get a little moment. So the SWAT guy that's running up to the building pricks himself on the rose bush. And the guy that's like about to kill the SWAT guy is coming up. He's got his gun set up over a counter, but the counter is like a confectionery counter, and there's like a chocolate bar underneath it. So he looks around and he steals one of them.
Yep.
He gets a little moment. It's that sort of, it's that sort of moment to add to it. But we didn't have that sort of we didn't have it in the script. Sorry. So, but that's one of the little moments that we add, and we're trying to make it good. I think as well, what Jamie said there, we shoot it in a week, but also it's very telling that we go, oh, we know we probably won't be able to have time for pickups or reshoots or anything like that. And that's like, learning how to be a trapeze artist without a safety net. You get real good, real quickly at doing that, because if we mess this up, we will not be able to fix it, like in post or reshoots or anything. So because we operate like that, I think we've got slightly better at, we keep getting better at making decisions that we know we won't regret in the edit room, or that with stuff that we'll like later. It's hard.
Don't get me wrong, I wish we had more time, but there is some kind of weird, like I said, kinetic energy that, this urgency that, like, it's now, and you're completely present. Like, I'm so present when we're filming. Like, 100% of my essence is there.
And I have to ask you, Jamie, because you're DP, you're doing the camera work, and you're also editing. With this kinetic energy that's happening, the pressure of 1 week, and you're thinking on the fly as ideas are popping up or little serendipitous moments are happening that lead to other things. Are you doing editing in your head at all?
Yeah,
because
100%.
I would think you would have to be with something like this.
Yeah, like I literally color correct, so like I am the god of the image, so to speak. Like I'm actually physically capturing it. I'm deciding how it's lit and all that kind of stuff. And yes, I'm absolutely 100% thinking whenever we're filming anything, especially if we're not storyboarding it or shot listing it, I have to do the edit in my head. It's we start here, and Simon is incredibly good at this too. And both of us together, we rarely fuck up. Like rarely do I get in the edit and I'm like, there's always I wish I had this shot. There's especially when you shoot in 8 days or whatever. But I always have it. There's always I can pull it off. There's a way to work it. And I think that we're really good at figuring out how many shots we need for this particular thing and then getting them all.
Mm-hmm. And I have to commend you on the outdoor shot when that poor girl, while Simon is sitting inside, Gerard is munching on his apple, she's sent outside with her note. And you've actually got that cool outdoor drive-through money drop thing. It functions. It works.
Yep.
That was another thing that we added on the day.
Yeah. Because it's shot that tube belt where you're supposed to get your deposit or send your deposit or whatever. We were like, we have to. It was Simon's idea that we have to incorporate this into the movie somehow.
How difficult is the timing of that for you to shoot? Because obviously it's being activated inside the bank.
No different than anything else, really. Like we just, we're gonna do this. I had the idea of putting a GoPro in it and that kind of stuff. But like that's basically, even though that was thrown at us of the day. Because we're not storyboarding, because we're not shot listing, we're like, we read the 3 pages for this next scene. And it's like, how are we going to do it? So it's constantly this, just figuring it out. Okay, if we did it.
Like Jamie said, we make these changes, but it's me and him for the whole week, right? And then we have to remember that we make changes, but we have to remember the impact on continuity. So when we shot that sequence, we had to remember that we had to pick it up outside. So we're filming the outside stuff after the inside stuff. And we have to remember to do the shoot thing, and Nick, coming up to it and getting it at some point. So it's a bit of mayhem, but we're so very, Jamie is with me. They're very present, and our essence is there. Like we're very focused on what we're doing just for that time. That's what it is, though. It's spinning plates, constantly, and getting exactly what we need and remembering. If we need extra little bits, and then not forgetting to have fun with chapstick and things like that. Like not forgetting that it isn't just about. It's not formulaic. It's like if there are colourful moments, we should try and, if the actor can do something that's interesting, then we should spend half a second focusing on that actually, because Jamie will have fun with that in the edit, and that will be better for the film. But it's all, there isn't a right or wrong way to do it. We're kind of guessing.
This is also a testament to the two of you in your casting. Because when you're making spur-of-the-moment changes like that, undoubtedly the script is changing, dialogue is changing, you may go into improv. You've got to have actors who can go with the flow.
Oh, yeah.
And who can
it's terrible, but what's really...
It's terrible if we don't have that.
But one really, really great story was that scene we were just talking about earlier, where Simon gives the girl the note and has that conversation with her. That Kaylee, right? Kaylee? Simon?
Yeah.
Kelly. She works at the pharmacy for the guy that bought the bank. She's not an actress. And we completely changed that scene and everything that she said. The essence of it was the same, but we changed all the wording. And she, to me, that was like one of the shining moments, like great acting in that moment. And that was someone that, works at an office, it doesn't act. And this was like a fun little thing she got to try to do. And she did fantastic.
She was genuinely really nervous, and then we changed everything. So you can imagine a nervous person, and then you go, by the way, everything you've been practicing for weeks, we are now just changing, and you got
on the day.
You've got about 8 minutes to kind of get your head around this.
Yeah.
You'd never know it. She was.
No, but you wouldn't. But also,
she was so good.
Nervous, and she was just wonderfully. She was like, "You're like, are you doing that deliberately?" Because no, I am just really nervous. And you're like, oh, well, it's working.
It works.
It's working. Whatever it is that's happening right now is working.
Yeah, like maybe that wouldn't work if her character had to be super confident in that moment.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, that's.
I remember shooting the submarine movie with the captain of the submarine ship.
Yeah.
And he came on very late, and he never had time to learn his lines. He literally was handed the script like the day before he showed up, and he had it was challenging to shoot when we were actually shooting it. And then when I got to the edit, like his character is supposed to be not confident and very unsure of everything. And holy shit, did it ever work in the edit? Like magic, like absolute magic.
No, she was fantastic. But I have to say, I think my favorite scene of you, Simon, is when you're sitting in the bank manager's office and you're watching the computer. You've just put a little thumb drive in there and you see what's on there. We have no clue what you're looking at. And you get the glee just spreads over your face. You lean back, you put your feet up on the desk, and you're laughing. And you have the best villainous laugh.
Good. I'm going to use it more often now that you said that.
Please do.
Yeah, because that's right. He wasn't using it enough already.
No, that's true. You can always have more of a Simon Phillips villainous laugh. Well, that scene.
You're just encouraging him.
But that scene is so delicious because of the look you get on your face. We are totally in the dark as to what it is you're looking at.
Yes, that's right. Well, the big debate about whether we were going to show it, actually.
I'm glad you didn't.
Later find out what it was, but it's,
And that was the other thing, too, like, that we were kind of, like, trying to figure out what it was. You had written something different about what was on that USB drive. And it was me that, we never really show it, so we don't really say what it is, right? But, like...
At the end, I tell Cole that it's...
that's right, yeah.
I tell him what it was. It's a bit Pulp Fiction with the suitcase, isn't it? It doesn't matter. What it is very valuable.
It's the MacGuffin. Yeah. It's the MacGuffin. It really doesn't matter at all.
That scene is so good, and it's because of the glee that Simon gets as a villain. So I
do like playing a villain. I tell you what I do like, Debbie, is I do like playing a villain, but not like, you have to play it, again, people go, oh, you're always playing bad guys. I was like, often when I'm playing bad guys, I'm actually usually having quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it, that's Alan Rickman in Die Hard.
Yep.
I mean, he's having fun. Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham, and so the bad guys that have fun, like Gary Oldman in Leon, all of those guys, they have touches of like madness because they're having fun doing something really, disgusting. And there's something kind of, I don't know, people like that for some reason.
Here, you give yourself some great scenes with people, and you're actually talking about some serious things that are the mark of an intelligent man and who's aware of the world around him. And you hear some concern.
Works with the character, like the scene with the girl and we were talking about with the apple and eating the apple. If I'm going to kill that girl, I don't need to take such pleasure in doing it. I could kill her and I'd still be guilty of murder. The fact that I set it all up and allow her to believe that she's going to be set free and things like that, and she's going
Your character loves his job.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the fact that I don't know if you caught, I don't know if you could see it on your screener, Debbie, that the note is sort of not the real message. Just don't actually put the notes. You can kind of
do that.
Page.
I wrote that note.
It's transparent. It's just sticking the cops around.
The note does show up on screen, and it is very funny. Very funny. Now, I do want to ask, Jamie, I want to ask you about your sound design here. I was curious about the sound design because you are not in a very sonically friendly location. In terms of you don't have carpet, you don't have things muffling sounds, you're in the basement, they're sitting on folding metal chairs. And I love how your sound design and sound mix brings that into setting the stage and creating the world that these people are stuck in. You get a little bit of that basement kind of echo. So I'm curious about what you and your sound guys were looking for, because I love how it plays into this story and the location.
Yeah, so Donnie Ivy did our location sound. He's done sound for our last couple of movies. He's really good. So we really focused on using as much of the sound that we recorded on the day. So when you hear those chairs being pulled out, that's the real noise of the chairs being pulled out. And then, we've kind of amplified it with George, I'm blanking on his last name, who does our post-audio in Reese. And he kind of just jazzes it up and pushes it up to make certain things. Like I remember one thing in particular that there's the scene with the fire where things happen close to the end. I won't ruin it for anybody, but I really wanted the rage of that fire to be really heard in that moment. So we kind of just amplified that up. But it's just really, like, I find good sound design is finding, the simple thing that can be amplified in a moment. Thinking, if you watch the movie Anora,
yes,
it won Best Picture. Very last scene, when she's in the car with the guy that drove her, the very, very last scene of the movie, you can just hear the window wipers. Like, that's all you can hear in the rain. It's just so loud, and it's so, I don't know, it just adds another layer to the film for me. Into that moment. So in our own movies, that's what we try to do is like, if there's a sound effect that can be amped up or like something that can be isolated that makes the scene more tense or more dramatic, that's what we got to focus on. And keeping it as realistic as possible too as well by using what we shot on the day.
Yeah, this one was difficult for us, Debbie, because this is actually represents one of our first normal genre movies. It's just action. There's no, so it's got a wider appeal than, say, the horror stuff or the sci-fi. Anything else that we've done. So we have to ground a lot of the stuff. Even when Jamie was lighting it, I mean, it's a bank, right? It's not a submarine. It's not a fun house, Mickey Mouse. It's got to live in the normal world. So you have to make these. We have to sort of shrink it down a little bit to go, oh, this has got to be believable. Which on 9 out of 10 of our things we can get away with a bit more because you're like, well, it's a horror movie, and you can say that. Whereas this, it does have to make a bit of sense. So
yeah, and everything you've done in here works. I got to tell you guys, everything in here works, and I had so much fun watching this. But
well, hope everyone.
Well, I hope so. But now I got one big last question for you guys. I gotta ask, what is the magic that makes this collaborative partnership of the two of you work so well?
Well, Jamie was trying to make this our last movie together, and then I trapped him in the vault during filming, and I only agreed to let him go. I only revealed that I had the key on me to open the vault after he agreed to do another 7 movies. And then I'll do something similar when we get there.
This is a true story. We actually did get locked in one of the safes because of Simon. It's an actual true story.
That's if the door works.
I'm not really surprised. Happened. I'm not surprised by that.
Simon and I just worked really well together. We shot our first movie in 2018, if you can believe it. And the more that we do it, our shorthand gets slower and slower. I jokingly to my wife, I call Simon my work wife. When we hang out, we're not making movies. We can be in a room of 10 people, and all of a sudden we're just slowly. I think sometimes we purposely sit on opposite sides of the room, but then slowly, as the night goes on, we're now in some heated conversation about any number of things. It could be current movies, something that we're working on, something we did in the past.
It's the absolute alien. People find us very unapproachable at it. But so one might be in the room with other people, but as soon as we get together, people are like, it's impossible to interject in your conversation because we're so down a rabbit hole on something. It doesn't have to be something we've done. It's often something that we're working on, we're thinking about doing, and we make like leaps in it. But they don't, wives and friends don't like it because they cannot get involved in the conversation because they can't, they're not going as fast as we are. You know, like we're down a, you know, we're very evolved down a conversation route very quickly, and we've lost everybody in the room because if we have to explain it to wives and things like that, we have to slow down and go, well, no, that's because this, and that's good, you know. But we're making much more progress, me and Jamie. But consequently, they don't like it. So they're like, oh, can you say this? But
well,
you know, the time we're not out drinking or something like that. But me and Jamie have had some of our best ideas when we're, you know, at 3 a.m.
Oh, that's always when you get the best ideas.
Or the worst.
Or the worst. Sometimes we write down an idea and you go, this thing about, like,
we're going to make a movie about Monopoly.
So what is the next movie that the two of you are working on together? I know you've each got separate projects, especially you, Simon. You've got so much stuff coming up.
We have very popular. Yes.
Yeah, he's very popular.
Yes, he is.
Tell me sometimes it makes movies with other people. We have 2 movies coming out this year, DEINFLUENCER 2 and 3. We're just wrapping up with 2 is completely finished, and we're just wrapping up the 3rd one right now. So they should both be out this year.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. It's like a bit. I don't want to reference Rebel Moon because it didn't do that well, but the idea of like, you know, Kevin Costner shot Horizon. That's another not a great example of it, but he shot a 2-parter, you know, but they release it quite close together, so you don't have to wait a whole year for it. That's what we did with DEINFLUENCER 2 and 3, Debbie. So we're excited about that.
You want to compare this to Waterworld or something too, or
yeah,
Go versus Volcano? Go versus
I think of a 2-part movie, Jamie, that they shot, and it was a good, you know. Anyway, we'll be the first one. Don't worry, the first good one.
All of your movies are good. All of them are good.
Thank you.
And I'm
You're
excited to see DEINFLUENCER, Clickbait, and the other one, you've got Jamie Bernadette in there.
Oh, Jamie Bernadette is in there, yeah. She's in Clickbait, number 2.
Yeah.
Jamie, she's the girl that gets...
She's wonderful. I've spoken with Jamie before, and she is a wonderful actress. She's been around...
Oh, I did a movie for last year with Jamie Bernadette. You know, she directed her own movie.
I know she has. I haven't seen it, though.
Oh, I haven't seen it. It's not finished yet, but I'm also in that, playing a nice guy again.
Oh,
I play her husband in it, and I beat her to death.
Simon!
I know. I'm always getting a nice guy.
And Simon's method, too. We should also say that.
Hey, they drop those charges.
Well, gentlemen, I know that you have to move on elsewhere. As much as I love you, this was so fun to get to speak with you as well this time, Jamie. Of course,
yes.
Nothing compares with speaking with Simon.
Well, hopefully after a couple more interviews, you'll feel this way about me.
No more questions, Jamie. No more questions. We're running out.
I'll grow on you like a fungus.
Now, this has been so much fun, guys. This is going to be my show on the 28th, the day before the film releases. Perfect. So I was debating between this coming Monday, the 21st, and the 28th, but I think the day before is the perfect time to air this. So hopefully I'll get to talk to you both later this year with DEINFLUENCER.
Yes, let's make that happen.
Let's make that happen for sure.
Obviously, we absolutely must. Gentlemen, you go have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. And
happy birthday.
Well,
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, happy birthday, Debbie.
Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow.
No, it doesn't count. I take it back.
Okay, yeah, take it back. Yeah, tomorrow. All right, gentlemen, you go. Have fun. Chat with more people. None are as much fun as me, though, I'm sure.
I bet.
And I'll talk to you guys later.
That was good. Happy birthday.
And that was Simon Phillips and Jamie Bailey talking the OMRO Heist. It releases tomorrow, Tuesday, July 29th, on demand and on all streaming digital platforms. So there is no excuse not to see it. You can watch it at home, sit back, pop open a beer, grab a bottle of wine or something else, have plenty of snacks at hand, and I think you'll have a great time with this one. So that is all the time we have today. But joining me again next week is, I don't know as yet. I don't know who I'm having as guests or pre-recorded interviews next week. But I guarantee you, it will be interesting and entertaining. Definitely entertaining, as usual. So, I'm Debbie Elias. This is Behind the Lens.